So when you're calling the for sale by owner, my goal was always, aside from obviously um, building a rapport and making a connection with them over the phone as much as possible, um, and getting an appointment. My goal was to find out if they have a motivation. What is their motivation? If they have a time frame, how soon or how quickly they have to sell their house, or they want to sell their house. And the biggest thing for me was also if they are committed to an agent. If they're committed to an agent. So how do we find out about their motivation? What questions do we ask? Who can tell me?
What made you decide to sell?
Perfect question. But there is a dialogue, or there is a conversation that leads to that question. And what do you think that dialogue is?
Tell me a little bit about the house.
Tell me a little bit more about your house.
What upgrades have you made?
Yeah.
You made any changes? How does it compare to your neighbor's house?
Yeah, well, you know what, Dan? We had this house for 20 years, and we've done a lot of work to it in the last 2 to 3 years. We updated the kitchen, we updated the flooring, we resurfaced the pool, and we installed a new door outside. And the AC is about 5 years old, and the roof is about 8 years old. So we've done a lot of work to the house in the last 10 years.
Sounds like an amazing house, Alan. What made you decide to sell it?
Well, you know what, Dan? We're downsizing. It's a big house for us. It's 3,500 square feet, and it's just me and Becky. And I just recently retired from my job at Cox, and are thinking about getting something smaller.
Hey, congratulations. Have you,
Yeah,
do you need to sell this house in order to buy your new house?
that's the plan. That's why we put it on the market and kind of see, what happens. Obviously, we know the market is hot, and we want to make sure that we get as much as possible, so that gives us a flexibility to go out there and find our next home.
That's great.
That's it. I mean, that's the conversation, right?
Hey, Alan, I have a quick question.
Yes.
So I have a appointment today, but they also want to buy. And, the listing is always great, but it's kind of like a bittersweet, because you already know how the buying side is. So would you suggest doing a post possession so they can buy cash, or how would you go about it? Because if they can't buy,
I didn't get the entire question, Gustavo.
that, so I have a listing appointment, but they also want to buy, and you know that the buying side is very difficult. And
Yeah.
if they don't buy, they can't sell. Would you um, kind of talk to them into doing a post possession so they can buy the next house cash?
Yeah, I mean, post possession definitely works. I mean, every house that I'm selling right now, where the sellers have to buy as well, we're doing a post possession agreement, as long as 60 days, and sometimes even longer. So that would be ideal. You do a 45-day or 60-day post possession agreement, right? But that gives you like flexibility during the time your house is under contract. You can go out there and you can start looking, right? And hopefully you're going to get them under contract within that time frame. But if not, once they close, they have that 60 days to move into the next home, find and move into the next home. Absolutely. And again, because the market the way it is, buyer is willing to sign up for that. They will do that. Like I remember a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, guys, and I'm sure you remember as well. Post possession was almost kind of like pulling teeth. Most of the buyers didn't want to do that. To get a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 day post possession, we as listing agents had to beg to get that from the buyer's agent. Nowadays, 15 days, 20 days, 40 days, 60 days, go after it, do it.
And in your post possessions, are they doing like a $2,000 deposit, any sort of deposit?
It's,
And
yeah,
I
it's all negotiable. So there's going to be a security deposit, right? So it's going to be a refundable security deposit that's going to be held with the escrow company, most likely. Okay, and then whatever you agree between the seller and the buyer, what the per day amount is going to be. It can be $1, can be $20, can be $40, can be $50. It's what you guys agree to with the buyer and the buyer's agent. It can be free. Like, for example, if I'm representing a buyer right now, and my buyer really wants this house, but the only condition is from the seller is, hey, I will accept your offer, but you're going to give me a 60-day post-possession, and I'm not going to pay you a dime. What do you think most of the buyers are going to do right now? They're going to say right now.
take it.
They're going to take it. I know they're going to pay 1 month of mortgage, month and a half of mortgage, but hey, if I really want that house, that's the only house that I want or can get, I'm going to do this. Okay. But when it comes to this right here, guys, it's very important to find out their motivation. Why are they selling? And sometimes, and I tell you this, not every time you're going to get their motivation right there over the phone. There are going to be some for sale by owners. They're going to be like very coy with you. They're going to like, yeah, I just want to sell it. If I get my price, great. If not, I'll keep it. They're doing that so this way they don't show that they're desperate. But there's a reason why they're putting it on a market. There's a reason why they're putting it on a market. It's not easy to put a house on a market, by the way. You got to prep it. You got to fix things. It affects your schedule. It affects your routine. You're allowing strangers into your home. It's still COVID. Somebody tells you, yeah, I'm just testing the market. They're not really being honest with you, with all due respect. So even though you may not get that motivation that says, hey, you know what? I'm not really serious about it right now. If I get a top dollar, great. If not, I'm not going to sell it. Don't fall for that. Okay. Time frame. Another thing that you may want to find out. That's a follow-up question when they tell you why they're selling it. Your follow-up question is, well, realistically speaking, Mr. Seller, Mr. Fisbo, how soon do you want to get your house under contract, or how quickly? Or where do you have to be next? Okay, so get their time frame and find out what's going on with that. And then, of course, the agent, right? So this is where the challenge comes in, because if they are, let's say, related to an agent, if they're so committed to another agent and they just want to kind of test the market for the first week or two and see where they're going to get for it, okay, and then they're going to go to that agent, you need to know this. You need to ask this question. So how do we ask this question? How do we find out if they're actually committed to an agent?
You sometimes can get it, Alan, by, hey, I see that you're asking 500,000. How did you arrive at that price? Sometimes they'll, hey, I was working with my buddy or my girlfriend's sister or whatever. And that sometimes will leak that out. That's one way.
Bingo. That's the way I do it. That's the way I do it, right? So, hey, I see you guys are asking $400,000 for your house. It's a beautiful home, Mr. Fisbo. And just, again, out of curiosity, how did you come up with that price? How did you come up with that price? Oh, a buddy of mine or a friend of mine or my daughter or my sister or my classmate, he's an agent and he told me that he can sell for $400,000. Oh, okay, that's great. So let me ask you this: so are you kind of like committed to that agent? If for some reason, you end up listing it with the agent, and who knows, that may or may not happen the way the market is right now. But let's say, for example, a week or two from now, if you decide to put it on a market with an agent, would that agent be your preferred agent? Is that agent that you committed to? Ask that question. Because it's going to save you time, right? If you don't ask that question, if you don't really dig deeper, you go there, you're trying to build out a rapport, you tell them your value prop, but then they tell you, hey, I would love to list with you, but I got somebody that I'm committed to. It's hard. It's hard to get that listing. So that's something you definitely want to ask. Now, I had situations, full disclosure, where they would say, I know an agent or I'm friends with an agent. Okay. And I would still go because for some reason I felt like I have to go meet with them. And I was still able to secure that listing. Even though they know an agent or they have a friend who's in real estate. And there are times when they don't want to list the house with their friend because they don't want to mix personal and business relationships. So again, be very careful with all of these things right here, right, guys? The motivation can be tricky. The time frame can be tricky. Commitment to the agent can be tricky. All of those things can be tricky, okay? Go with your gut. And the way I look at it is if you're new to this and if you're not like slammed with other business, okay, I rather go out there and meet with for sale by owner, okay, and actually go through the experience and get better with time and get confident with time and hopefully even get an opportunity to list that house, then just say, all right, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. I'll let you know. I'd rather do that because the more reps you take, the more repetition you have. You know what they're saying, right? The repetition is the mother of all skill. The better you're going to get. The better you're going to get. We have an agent here in the company. Her name is Lindsay. I don't know if she's on a call right now. Maybe not. So Lindsay, about 5-6 months ago, we had a conversation. It's like, Alan, I want to start getting for sale by owners. All right, let's do it. You know, we sat down, we talked about it. You know, I shared with her, again, this approach right here that I'm sharing with you guys. And she probably for about 3 months or so went on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't remember the number for sale by owners. She went there, but she was not able to get them. But it didn't stop her. Finally, about 2 months ago, she got one and she listed one, I think, for $650. And she got multiple offers on it. And I think it closed for $675 or $680 for sale by owner. And then literally a week later or 2 weeks later, there was another for sale by owner on the same street that she was able to secure. And she listed that one for $695. And I'll show it to you. Let me see if I can. This is the listing right here that she got for sale by owner that she's got under contract for $695. I don't know how much the contract is for. It may be more, maybe less. Okay. But that's the second for sale by owner that she secured within a 60-day period. But before she was able to do this, she went on 8, 9, 10 for sale by owner appointments, maybe even more. And she didn't get any of those.
Took me nine appointments and a lot of frustration, but.
Oh, Lindsay's okay. Lindsay's here. Okay, Lindsay. I see. Okay.
And the first one we got 26,000 over asking price.
So the first one was $26,000 above the asking price.
Yeah, he had it listed low on Zillow.
Okay, right. And this one right here, correct me if I'm wrong. You lower the price, right, on this one?
Yeah.
Okay, and then once you lower the price, you got another contract.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. So it took her 9 times, 9 tries, 9 no's before she got yes. And what was, Lindsay, if you don't mind me asking you, I mean, what was the benefit of you going there and meeting with this for sale by owners, even though you were not getting those listings? What was the benefit for you? The biggest thing, the biggest takeaway that you got out of it?
Well, every appointment I learned something and I became more confident. And you also taught how to negotiate your commission structure, different strategies for that. So I kind of just tooled around with them all, and yeah, and it worked.
Was it you that went on one for sale by owner appointment? I think it was you, unless I'm mixing up with someone else in the company. That there was another agent there conducting an open house. Was it you?
No, but the first one that I got, his father-in-law was actually an agent. And I almost didn't go to the appointment. I was thinking, this is going to be a waste of time because I'm sure he's just going to give it to his father-in-law. And then I went and he called me back immediately.
So why do you think he gave it to you versus his father-in-law? I mean, that's like, I don't know. I mean, if my father-in-law was an agent and I'll give it to another agent, I mean, I would not be,
Yeah.
I
think that he didn't want to mix business and family. And, I think he liked my commission structure too.
Okay, so he liked your commission structure as well.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay, all right. So the biggest takeaway you got is the fact that every time you would go, even though you would not get a listing, you got better. You got more confident. Yeah. You would hear more no's, you would hear more objections, you would hear more questions, right? And it made you better agent, correct?
Yes.
Right. It's the same thing, for example, right now with the buyers, right, guys? Like, what is the biggest frustration that we got right now with the buyers is the fact that we're going out there, we're submitting offers left and right. We're submitting offers, we're submitting offers, we're submitting offers. And for a lot of agents, that may be a frustration, and I get it. Trust me, I'm in the same boat. But at the same time, it's actually making you better. It's making you a better agent. Think about it. The fact that you're going out there and looking at homes, the fact that you actually putting together very creative offers, setting expectations with your buyers, managing those expectations, communicating with them, letting them know, you know what, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. The fact that you are then negotiating or trying to negotiate with the listing agent, putting together an offer that works for both parties, like all of those things are so beneficial to you guys. It will make you better as an agent, as a professional in this industry. And when the market turns, and it will turn, eventually it will turn, there's going to be a shift. By doing what you've been doing as an agent, you're going to be on a different level. You're going to be a better agent. The same thing with for sale by owners, guys. It took Lindsay 3 months, correct me if I'm wrong, Lindsay, 3 months to get her first listing. It took me 5 months to get my first listing. 5 months. And it was $100,000 listing, by the way. So it's not like it was like a $500,000 listing when I got like a big commission check. It was a $100,000 listing, and the homeowner was very stingy. It was an expired listing. He didn't want to pay more than whatever. I took it, I sold it. But for me, it was a confidence booster. For me, it showed me personally and professionally that I can do this. I can go out there and I can get a listing. I can put it on the market. I can get it sold. I can get a commission check. And that's all we need sometimes. We need that. We need that extra boost, if you will. And the way to do it is reaching out to the for sale by owners, starting by having conversations with them, asking them questions, going out there and meeting with them. And even though you don't get that listing, even though it was not the best experience maybe for you, the fact that you did that, 99% of other agents are not doing it. They're not doing it. We're all talking about, oh man, I wish we would have more listings. I wish we would have more listings. I wish we would have more listings. Hello, you want a listing? There are 4 today. Actually 5. Yesterday, there were 4 or 5. Like right there, they're in front of you. These people raised their hand and said, I want to sell my house. Why not call them? Why not go out there and meet them? Why not offer them your value proposition so you can actually create a win-win business relationship and you both benefit? Them benefiting from you, your knowledge, your expertise, and you benefiting from the fact that you just listed a house and you got 24 offers within 24 hours. And you're getting paid.